This is Des. Welcome to my podcast, According to Des, where I interview people with passions, hobbies, or side hustles trying to live their best lives by following their dreams and pursuing their goals. Get ready to be inspired. I can't wait for you to hear today's interview where I interview Cathleen Dower, founder and owner of the Fitzgerald School of Irish Dance in New Jersey. She went from loving her Irish culture to getting introduced to Irish dance, and it just transformed her life. So she had an idea to open up her own Irish dance school, and then she did it. So incredible. I can't wait for you to hear this interview. So let's talk to Kathleen now about her journey from going from an Irish dancer from a young age to opening her own dance school. So hello everyone. I'm here with Kathleen Dower, founder and owner of Fitzgerald School of Irish Dance, located in Old Bridge, New Jersey. So Kathleen, hello. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here and, talk more about my dance school and how I got my business up and running. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited to hear about your Irish dance school. So first of all, I just want to ask you, are you Irish?
Yes, Irish American, I should say. I come from an Irish background. Growing up in New Jersey, third generation Irish American. My grandparents always instilled in me like this love for Ireland and all things Irish, I should say. And we always had like meat and potatoes, every dinner, and we always had big Sunday dinners. Growing up, I always heard stories of Ireland, and that was where my great grandmother had come from, and all my grandparents really. I definitely feel very connected, and I still actually have family over in Ireland. Even though I'm third generation, still feel very connected to the motherland.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And have you been to Ireland yet?
I actually have, yes. I went for the first time in 2013. My brother actually got married there in
Oh,
Kenmare.
oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it
Wow.
was amazing. Definitely a trip of a lifetime. And that was actually my first trip ever to Europe. So it was really special. I got to go with my whole family, and I got to go actually then meet my third cousins that I'd always heard about that live in Ireland. So I have family in County Kerry, which is where my brother got married in Kenmare. And then I also have family in Leitrim, which is like another county in Ireland. So it was just great. I was over there for 2 weeks, and I got to do some Irish dancing
Oh
and
my
drink some Guinness. And I was actually there
gosh.
for, yeah, I was there on my 26th birthday, which was like pretty awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I went a second time, actually 3 years ago, another destination wedding. My cousin got married in Scotland, and we said, oh, we're so close, we have to go to Ireland. So then we went again just for a week that time in Ireland, and then we spent a week in Scotland. That was amazing as well. A little bit different trip, but definitely fun. And, I'm looking forward to the next time I can go back for sure.
Oh my God, that's incredible. How was it going there, meeting family that you had never met before?
That was very interesting, because over there, I don't know if you've heard this before about the Irish or ever been to Ireland, but they're definitely known for their hospitality and like, oh, come in, stay, have a cup of tea, like listen to some
Oh,
stories. Yeah, so over here, like being from New York, New Jersey, if you or someone to stop at your doorstep and knock on your door and be like, oh, I'm your long lost cousin from like the other side, they'd be like, excuse me, like
get the
go
hell out
away.
of here.
Yeah, exactly. But over there, I don't know, it's still like kind of old school and laid back, and they, welcome you with open arms, and they're just like, oh my God, like it's our cousins from America that we've never met, but we're gonna invite them in.
Oh my God,
And
that's
like,
amazing.
so yeah, so it was really, really cool. And I still talk to them, and it's so great to have Facebook and Skype and all that. Because it really allows you to connect with them a lot more. But it was just so amazing, I guess, to see the birthplace of my great grandparents and see like the one room cottage and farm that I've always heard about that they grew up on and came from. And I don't know, it was weird when the plane landed, and when I got there, it was this weird sort of like deja vu feeling, like I've been here before. I don't know.
Wow.
And the weather was just for me absolutely perfect. I didn't get burnt. I didn't, no humidity.
Uh-huh.
It was quite the experience, and it's very green, very beautiful over there. So it was pretty cool meeting all of them for the first time. Yeah.
Wow, what an incredible experience. I love that. That's such, I feel like you'll just remember that forever.
Yeah, thank you. Definitely.
Wow. So I'm really sad. I was supposed to go to Ireland earlier this month.
Oh,
I was
really? Oh my
yes,
God.
yes. I
Oh,
try to go
wow.
out of the country every year. And
Oh,
we
cool.
didn't get to go out of the country last year. We just did a in the US road trip. So we were like, all right, 2020, we're going out of the country finally. So we
Yeah.
decided on Ireland and we were going to go for 3 weeks and obviously had to cancel it. So I'm really,
Oh,
really
man.
hoping I could go next summer. I was so excited.
Oh, yeah, definitely. For sure. I really hope that you can go next year, but that is such a bummer. Yeah, I know a lot of people that had trips to Ireland that got canceled, and
Hmm.
but I definitely strongly suggest you follow up and go next year, which I have a feeling you will. I feel like if you are into traveling and history and castles, their food has actually come a long way. I know Ireland really isn't known for like their
Right. Yeah.
food. I heard a lot of horror stories. Oh, it's just meat and potatoes. But really, they are really good with seafood, and a lot of different things have come their way. They've come a long way in terms of cuisine. So I really feel like you would probably enjoy it.
I have a lot of friends that have gone to Ireland, and usually when you travel somewhere, it's like, oh, the food's incredible. Like the food doesn't really come up.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. I mean, yeah, I guess that's not what they're really known for, what they like, pitch in their marketing efforts. But I can say the dairy is amazing. The fresh butter and milk and like brown bread that they have,
Oh, wow.
because of all the pasture raised cows and everything like that. Yeah, that I can speak for. And the cheese, really good. When I buy butter now, it's only Kerry butter, Kerry gold, like cheese
Really?
and all that. Yeah, slight bias there, but I notice a difference in taste as opposed to here. So
Oh, wow.
yeah,
That's
definitely make sure you
interesting.
try that when you go over there.
I can't wait to go and try everything because I love potatoes and I just hear their
Okay,
potatoes are amazing with their cabbage and everything. So, yeah, I can't wait for that.
definitely. And of course, you have to go visit Dublin and go visit
Hmm.
Tour Guinness Factory and all that good
Yes,
stuff.
absolutely. Yeah, we had it all planned out. So, I'm holding on to a hope that I could be there next year.
Yeah, I mean, and they even have great, I don't know if you're into hiking, but
Mhm.
in Wicklow, County Wicklow, they have the Wicklow Mountains. And then in Kerry, where my family is from, they have the Kerry Mountains. And so there's like a lot of hiking around there. We actually went horseback riding. We were there. There's this
Wow.
beautiful ring of Kerry that you can like
Oh,
drive
yes.
along. Yep, it is so scenic. And then the Ring of Beara and Dingle Peninsula, I definitely it's all along the coast. I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful. And then there's a UNESCO site called the Skelligs, which are a group of islands that actually Star Wars was filmed on one of them.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's just like an old monastic site that where monks used to live in like the 5th century AD. So if you get
Wow.
a chance to check that out, you have to take a boat ride when it's a calm day because it's really rough, the seas.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, and you go hiking and it's just amazing, like the views from there. My
Wow.
family went there also. Yeah, definitely recommend that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I'll
I mean,
add that
there's
to my
just so
list.
many
Yeah.
things to say. Yeah, you'll
Kerry and
definitely.
Dingle were on my list because I've just heard they're incredible.
And of course, like Galway, and the Cliffs of Moher, those are so
Yes.
iconic. Yeah, and the views from the Atlantic Ocean are just amazing. And definitely Galway if you're into like music, live music, and performances, and getting that like real Irish feel. And it's right on the coast. It's just beautiful. The Aran Islands too, right off of Galway. So beautiful. And they still speak Irish or Gaelic on the islands.
Really?
Yes. So that I would check out for sure. And you can
Oh,
like
wow.
bike ride, and there's all these stone circles and farms, and it's pretty interesting, really neat. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. You're making me want to go right now.
Sorry. Lots to research for next year,
Yeah,
next summer. Yeah.
absolutely. I have time to add more to my schedule. Yeah, I can't wait to go. That's amazing that you got to go twice and with your family and everything. That's so cool.
Yeah, yeah, it really was. I have to say, I was really blessed to go. I mean, I honestly never thought in a million years that that's how I would go for my brother's wedding.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just so amazing. And then the second time around, like I said, it was a little bit different because then it was just a much smaller group that I went with. It was just my immediate family rather than like extended family and
Hmm.
neighbors and everything and friends. But it still was just as nice. And we got to visit other things. And I mostly stayed in the southern part and the western part of Ireland. So I have to say, when I go back, not if I go back, because I know I'll be back.
Yep. Yep.
But when I go back, I want to see more like the northern part. I haven't experienced any
Mm.
of that. Like Donegal and Antrim coast are some really cool, just natural sites up there, up in Antrim, and it's just very beautiful as well. Yeah, and
Wow.
Belfast, I'd love to see.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That's amazing. So you've been connected to your Irish culture since you were little then because of your grandparents, great grandparents?
Yeah, I think for sure, definitely they gave me this sense of pride. And a big thing for us was my mother always took us out of school every year on St. Patrick's Day to go to New York City to go watch the parade.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it wasn't a holiday for other kids, but for us, that was like super important. And it was a day like spent with family. And we always had family members that were marching in the parade. So that was a big tradition to go into the city every year and watch the parade. And
Wow.
honestly, I always felt connected to my roots, but I didn't really get so much into it until I started doing the dancing and when I saw Riverdance. And that's when it really, I got more into it and I realized, wow, there is so much more to my heritage than just meat and potatoes. And like, there's like this whole Celtic tradition and art and music and dance. And that's kind of how I learned a lot more about it.
And when did
Yeah.
you get introduced to Irish dance? How did that start?
That's a really good question. I got introduced into Irish dance when I was 12 years old. So originally I was doing what most American kids or girls do, is like ballet and tap
Mhm.
and jazz and lyrical, all that good stuff. I started that when I was 5. And then I continued what I call modern contemporary dance for about 7 years. I was kind of really getting bored with it. I mean, I loved going to dance classes and seeing my friends and whatnot, but just ballet for me was kind of slow and whatever. So I went and saw Riverdance. They had come to Radio City Music in New York. My grandmother got tickets for my mother and I and herself, and we all went in to see the show. And oh my God, I have to tell you, if you haven't seen it live, I was blown away. I'm just like, how are they all doing that
Oh,
so fast at the
wow.
exact same time? Yeah, I was
Wow.
like, this is amazing. Yeah. So it's just, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I have to do this. And then, of course, it resonated with me too because I'm also Irish as well. So I told my mother, I want to quit ballet. Sign me up for that. Just, I don't care.
Wow.
That was for me a life changing experience. That following fall is when I started doing Irish dance. I started at this local Irish American club, which actually, it's kind of funny. My grandfather was one of the founding members there. So that's how my grandmother had found it because it was down the road from where they lived. My teacher, who was from Ireland, she kind of was traveling all over New Jersey, but she also happened to teach classes like once a week in Old Bridge. So now, actually, where I teach is where I took lessons. So it's kind of cool. It's come
Oh,
full
wow.
circle.
That's really cool.
Thank you. I'm just carrying the torch, passing the torch down to future generations.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh. So when you started taking Irish dance lessons when you were younger, did you know that you wanted to own an Irish dance school, be a dance teacher? Like when did that idea kind of resonate with you?
When I was younger, I guess I didn't really per se have it in my head that I wanted to be a teacher. I always knew that I wanted to continue with my dancing. It was just something that I loved and I was so passionate about. And I always did competitions over the years, local competitions, and then we did the Oireachtas every year, which was like a big Eastern regional competition, took place in Philadelphia every year. I always had this competitive drive and I wanted to perform. I actually always wanted to like go on and be in one of these big shows like Riverdance or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that isn't part of my journey. But at one point when I was in college, I was still continuing with the dancing. And I realized I actually was thinking of being a school teacher at the time.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought, oh, wouldn't it be cool if I could instead open my own Irish dance school? And I was just 21. I'm like, oh, that just sounds like such a big dream. How would that even get started? I don't know. It was just something, yeah, that the wheels started turning, and I'm thinking, oh, that would be really neat to be like a dance teacher, have my own school one day. From that time on, when I was like 21, 5 years later, then it kind of actually materialized into me doing it. But
Oh, wow.
yeah, I'd say probably when I was in college is when I kind of started to think more along those lines of, oh, wouldn't it be really cool if I started teaching it?
Oh, wow. What did you end up going to college for? Was it to be an education teacher?
No, actually. So I'm still figuring it out, to be honest. I actually went to school for hospitality and tourism,
Oh, okay.
which I am, yeah, I'm in the hospitality field right now, part-time, work at a restaurant, and then I also do the dancing part-time on the side as I'm growing my school. Originally, yeah, I thought I wanted to work in hotels and whatnot.
Oh, wow.
So I have multiple interests, I guess. But when I graduated, I kind of was steered in the direction of like, I think it'd be good to be a school teacher. So I was working as a substitute teacher and I was doing all the things to get me certified. I was working as a paraprofessional in different schools.
Mm.
So I was gaining that teaching experience, that actually now helps me with the dancing. Because I didn't have an undergrad in teaching in my bachelor's, I actually did go alternate route and I studied courses at a community college and I got my certificate. Just the way life happened, economy wise, wasn't a good time. It was very hard to get a job. Then I ended up going into marketing. And actually, the way I got into marketing was very interesting. I ended up getting an internship, a paid internship, working at a company that actually was marketing towards teachers. So like,
Oh,
yeah, it was in Princeton, right? Like, so it kind of encompassed my skills, my experience, my background of what I was
yeah.
interested in, which was teaching at the time. But then I knew I kind of wanted to move towards marketing. So I was like, oh, well, this is perfect. I'm marketing towards educators. Yeah, it was called Teacher Support Network. I create content and articles and all that good stuff. And it would be geared towards educators.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then from there, I kind of just progressed forward and went more and more into the field of marketing
Oh, wow.
while still pursuing the dancing on the side. Yeah.
Okay. And so you said that you were involved in Irish dance in college. What did that look
Mhm.
like?
The first years when I was going to school, I went to school actually in Pennsylvania. I went to a community college that was the only community college I know of that has dorms. So
Oh,
I
okay.
actually stayed there, yeah, because I'm originally from Jersey. So I stayed in the Lehigh Valley. It was Northampton Community College. And I remember I was like, well, I know I want to keep Irish dancing. So I specifically told my mother, I'm not going to go to any school where I don't know, there has to be an Irish dance school close by.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so I looked for one and I found one. Of course, it was the Quinlan O'Grady Academy of Irish Dance at the time. They're still around, but they're just like combined with other dance schools. So
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
so I was dancing there, still competing, still dancing when I was like 18, 19. And then I transferred to Stockton. And then when I was at Stockton, there unfortunately was no Irish dance schools in the area. The closest one was probably Philadelphia, right? So I thought to myself, okay, well, I know I want to keep dancing. How can I do this? Maybe find other Irish dancers. There has to be at least one in this South Jersey area because, it
Uh-huh.
was mostly the people that I met. It was very big up in New York, of course, and
Mm.
like North Jersey, right, where you had these neighborhoods. When I was in the Pine Barrens in Stockton, I think I found a few people that were into it or were dancers. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do an Irish dance club. So I started the Stockton Irish Dance Club, like Stockton
Oh,
Irish dancers. Yeah. And I did get a few people. Some were like complete beginners. I was like, oh, well, I'll just teach them. And
wow.
that's
Uh-huh.
actually also where I got more into the teaching. And I thought, like, oh, well, hey, I could do this. And then I actually met one of the deans of Stockton at the time was his name is escaping me now, but he was very much Irish American, into his heritage and whatnot. And he
Oh,
knew that I would go and do dance at these like cultural events. And I had signed up for a few talent shows the school held. And I actually won money. I got like second, first place in
oh my
some of these
gosh.
talent shows.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Thank you. So it was pretty cool. I just wanted to dance. I just wanted to like share it. Where can I practice? I can't practice in my apartment or dorm room with my roommates. They'd be like, what is this girl doing? Jumping around. I would go at like 9:00, 9:30 at night, as soon as all the dance classes got out. And I asked them, I was like, can I use your studio? Like, I just want to practice. I wasn't a dance student. I wasn't majoring or studying in it. And they're like, yeah, that's no problem.
Oh,
So I
wow.
started doing that. I guess he picked up on that or noticed me. So he's like, oh, I want to connect you with this person and this person. And he actually put me in touch with Dropkick Murphys. He
Oh,
knew one of
okay.
the guitar players. Obviously, they're from Boston. So he's like, I can get you free tickets, you and a friend. And originally, I was supposed to perform with them on stage, but unfortunately, we weren't able to coordinate it in time before the show. They're like an Irish bagpiper band, rock band.
Yeah.
And they usually bring dancers on for one or two of their songs, Irish dancers. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. But whatever. I was just fine, happy attending the show for like
Yeah.
these
Oh, wow.
tickets. So that was really cool. And then some other opportunities that came up when I was in college was I got to be in the Atlantic City St. Patrick's Day parade.
Oh, wow.
I kind of represented not so much a dance school, but I guess myself and my club at the time. I was up with the bagpipers, and that was really cool because I had never been to that parade. And I was like, oh, look, I'm in the Atlantic City parade doing my thing. And yeah, that was kind of my experience in college, continuing my dancing.
Wow, that's amazing. I love that. That's so cool that
Thank
you were in the
you.
parade too. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Do you still go to the St. Patrick's Day parades in New York City and Atlantic City?
I don't go to the Atlantic City one, to be honest. That was literally like the one time only that I went to it. You know, there are so many other parades that I do attend and still attend. I haven't honestly been to the New York City one in a couple of years because now that I have my own school, I go to wherever my dancers are going to be.
Okay.
Largely has been like South Amboy Parade, Belmar. Well, they weren't in the Belmar Parade, but like the Freehold Parade, and they're usually dancing at senior citizen homes. We like to
Oh,
like dance out in the community. Yeah. So that's really nice. So usually on St. Patrick's Day, I'm kind of like all over, and the weeks
yeah.
following, the weeks after, But actually, this year, unfortunately, with COVID and everything we had planned was
Yeah.
just completely shot, and we weren't allowed to do any of that. And I actually was supposed to march in the New York City parade with the Friendly Sun and Shillelagh band that I belong to because I joined the band as a drummer.
Oh my gosh,
And
really?
yeah, I teach out of the Friendly Sons of Shillelagh in Old Bridge, this Irish American club. As a drummer, they got asked to literally, they were gonna this year march and be like one of the starting bands in the line of bands for the New York City parade, which would have been
Oh,
awesome. I would have been
wow.
on TV and everything, but yeah, that didn't happen.
Oh, is there a chance for
So
that to happen next year at all?
possibly, actually, yeah, we will see what happens. I hope so, because
Yeah,
that
I
would be really
hope.
cool.
That's really cool. Oh my gosh. So
Yeah,
just
thank
getting
you.
involved with Irish dance has brought you so many of these amazing, really cool opportunities. That's incredible.
Yeah, exactly. And that's honestly like what I want to instill in the kids that I'm teaching and give back to them because I feel like Irish dance has given me so much. And I feel like, some of my best friends that I'm still friends with today, I was in their wedding parties or whatnot, I have met through dance and
Oh, wow.
Irish dance. So if I could give my kids that I teach dance like that, where they could create those friendships and feel like this is a second family and where they have something to do that's positive, that's productive, that builds their confidence, on the weekends or after school, that's something giving them something to work towards, a goal, then I'll have done my job.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that. Yeah, that's amazing. So
Thank
true.
you.
So take me back a little bit to you're 21 years old, you're in college, you have this idea like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if I open a dance school? How did you make that jump from idea to actually making it happen?
I actually have to give some credit here to my college boyfriend at the time because he was very entrepreneurial mindset. He was the one kind of honestly that planted the idea in my head. I mean, I guess it was always on my heart that I wanted to stick with Irish dance in some shape, form, or another. But he was specifically the one that really kind of pushed me and was like, you know what, why don't you talk to this dance studio owner, see if you can. And this is up in North Jersey at the time. Originally, I was looking to open it in like Bergen County, actually, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
So this is back like probably 2009. He was telling me, he's like, go talk to this person. You should go to Hoboken. You could probably find a space, or Edgewater around there in Bergen County. And I thought, you know what, you're right. Like, there's not a lot of Irish dance schools right in this area. I mean, there's so many people here, like there'd definitely be a call for it or demand for it. So I started to do that. And he was very much also business oriented. And his field was in marketing. And I actually did honestly learn a lot about marketing just from watching him. He had built his own website. He was like a trade show coordinator, which is what I eventually got into because I thought, oh, if he could do this, like I could do this. I would really follow and watch everything that he did in terms of business because
Wow.
I wanted to. He was a little bit older than me. I thought, I'm going to be there one day. That's going to be me. Like I can do this. I'm just starting out, but I know I have it in me.
That's awesome.
So thank you. He really did plant the seed, we'll say, and put it into my head that, hey, I could do this. I could absolutely do this. That's how I started to do it. And he was the one that made me sit down, really said, okay, but first you need a business plan. How are you going to, like you asked, manifest this and put it into practice and find your niche, your target market, and then move forward from there, right? And how are you going to market to these people? From there, when I created the business plan, that really kind of in my head made me go through the different steps. And that allowed me to really hone in on how I was going to achieve this. So then from there, I started to think about it more and more. And I honestly didn't get an opportunity until many years later when I was 26, and I finally had found a studio. And at this point, I was living in Central Jersey again, back in my hometown. And someone that my brother was friends with had a studio, and they said, yeah, we would love for you to come in and teach Irish dance. And I said, okay, great. Like, when can I start? Sign me up,
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I was just going to be a staff member, and I was just going to be teaching a class on the side as if it was like a Zumba class or like a specialty. It wasn't like a main dance class. So anyway, so from there I started with 5 students, and then it grew to like 10 to 15.
Oh,
And then
wow.
unfortunately, though, they were retiring. I did that for 4 years with their studio, and I learned so much about running a studio, and I kind of built a little bit of a following, which is great. And
Mm-hmm.
then at that point, I was like, well, wouldn't it be really cool? I would love to have my own studio or do this full time, right? And have my own dance school. And this time I felt way more confident. I had this following, and I knew I could do it. Just felt way more confident. So then I said, all right, now is the universe giving me a sign to do this full time. So then I found the Friendly Sons again. I reached out to them, and that's how I started teaching classes over there, and really full speed ahead with my dance school. 3 years ago, I did that. I took that leap,
Wow.
that
So it
leap of faith.
opened 3 years ago?
For the most part, pretty much 3 years ago, full time is when I, quit my corporate job and decided to go like all in with my business, and decided to take that leap of faith and,
Wow.
yeah,
Was
launch
that
it.
was that scary for you?
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. Very scary, to be honest. I mean, even though I did have those 4 years at that other studio, and I had all this dance experience, and I knew that I had this drive, this passion, this determination, this love for Irish dance. But still, there's like that unknown, like, okay, I just quit my corporate job. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
really now hope this is going to be successful. It definitely makes you want to be that much more successful now that like, okay, I got to do this. Like, I have to do this. Everything is riding on that. But I also definitely got a lot of good feedback from the parents telling me, yes, you should go with your own school. We will totally follow you.
Oh,
So I had
wow.
that, I had that kind of confidence in them backing me up. And, I did lose some students, but then I also gained more students. And actually, prior to COVID, the year before, I actually doubled my numbers.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I now have, I mean, it's still very small. I have 30 students, and I was hoping to really double my numbers again with all the marketing and promotional events that we had booked for March, but
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that impacted you a lot. Are you doing online classes or anything right now?
Yes, I am. Right now, currently, I'm teaching via Zoom. Everything is completely online, virtual. I decided to keep it going throughout the summer. Normally, I would take a break, but I thought I need this as much as the kids need this. It's good for them to have something to look forward to, and just to see their friends, even to just
Mm-hmm.
have that consistency, that routine. So,
Yeah,
yep, it
absolutely.
is still online.
And how many classes does your school teach?
Right now, I have 6 classes total.
And are you the only teacher that teaches all the classes, or you have another teacher?
Yes, I am the only teacher.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I teach every single class along with working my other full-time job.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually at one point prior to COVID was working 3 jobs. So
Oh my goodness.
yeah, I am very driven, determined, like I am gonna do whatever it takes to make sure
Wow.
that I succeed. It was a lot, and honestly now I have gotten a little bit of a break, and I've kind of now taken a step back and reevaluated where I want my business to go. And gonna be honest, getting burnt out and really exhausted and
Oh, I
run down.
bet.
Yeah, so like a blessing in disguise of all this is I've had a little bit of a break. I mean, I don't even have to leave my house now when I teach classes,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. So that's kind of nice. I think when I go back in person, I would love to hire another person to help me, God forbid, like I'm sick or I want to go on
Mm-hmm.
vacation, or just help with anything with,
Yeah.
marketing or the books or choreography, or doing some of the performances that I can't make, or I busy with my other job. So that's definitely somewhere down the line, like a goal that I have in mind. Yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah, I'm sure that would be really helpful. And I feel like now you're probably spread so thin working, your 2 jobs and all, like you said, the performances and St. Patrick's Day parade. I mean, that's a lot for one person.
Yes, without a doubt. It's definitely built my confidence in several areas, in terms of like marketing and communications and dealing face to face with parents and students, and also booking these events and getting those up and running and off the ground, and following up on all leads. So I really have grown overall as a business person.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like much more than I even would have gotten when I was working in corporate or if I had stayed in the corporate world. I now can take that with me moving forward and either teach it to someone else so that I can grow my business. Cause now I feel like it's at the point where if I was to bring someone on, like that would really help me grow,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I
start
can't
delegating that.
believe that you've been able to do all of that on your own. I mean, that's incredible.
Thank
I
you.
mean, you do like 5 jobs at once.
Yeah, I wear the hats of a lot of people for sure.
Yeah.
Jack of all
Wow.
trades.
Well, I hope
Yeah.
that you do get to hire someone and that it will continue to
Thank
grow.
you.
That's incredible. That's really, really
Thank
cool.
you.
And you're only in your 3rd year, so I mean, you're absolutely going to grow.
Yeah, definitely. I just have to keep doing what I've been doing, keep plugging away, and, new and new opportunities every year keep presenting themselves as we get our name out there, as more people hear about my dance school, more students join, and yeah, we really kind of spread out, just keep on growing.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you'll have to hire somebody if you keep growing.
Exactly. Eventually, there's no way if I want to keep it at the same level and rate of growth, I will definitely have to hire someone. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so you said you offer 6 classes right now. What are the classes that you offer?
So I offer classes for beginner, for intermediate, and then for advanced dancers. I also offer private lessons as well. And I do also adult Irish dance classes. So right now, private lessons have come to a standstill, honestly. A lot of my classes I've combined. So I was able to add this adult class, which I haven't had in the past. So now that just equals 6 classes. And a lot of the classes, they do soft shoe and then also hard shoe. And so the beginner classes are for kids 3 years old up to, we'll say, like 7. And then the intermediate classes are for kids that have danced at least a year and they've learned all their soft shoe dances and are ready to progress to hard shoe and possibly start competitions. And then the advanced classes are for a little bit older kids and they've been dancing for at least 2 years and they're into hard shoe and they do competitions, performances, and the seniors, we'll say.
Gotcha. Very cool. What do you want people to know about Irish dance? What sets it apart for you from like ballet, lyrical?
I would say that I would want them to know it's a very unique art form. It's very lively dance. It definitely has its roots in Ireland, but now it's across all countries and cultures. And I would also want people to know that you don't have to be Irish to do Irish dancing
Mm-hmm.
and to appreciate it. Like I said, it's an art form just like anything else. Even though it looks so rigid and cold and you're dancing with your arms by your side and straight body and everything, that it really is a lot of fun. And especially when you do Cayley dancing, which is group dancing that you dance at weddings and social gatherings. You've got the soft shoe, which is like ballet, and you've got the hard shoe, which is like tap. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not just like jigs and reels. It really is much more than that. And you can do just solo dancing and focus on that as a student, or you can expand and do performances and shows and competitions. It's really what you put into it. That's what you're going to get out of it. I guess that's what I would want to share with people.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
You told me about this a little bit, your goals for students, but what do you really want your students to take away?
I would really want them to take away like a sense of pride, not only in their dancing, but in themselves. And I would really want them to walk away with their head held high, their shoulders pulled back, because that's how you're supposed to stand when you're dancing, I understand. Just stand tall and straight and be proud of who they are. Never be afraid to do something different and walk away feeling confident and take that in all areas of your life and take that drive, that discipline, that perseverance, that hard work and never giving up attitude that you had in dance so that you master those steps and whatnot in competitions and take that because I think that really will take you far in real life.
Oh,
So
yeah, absolutely. I feel like when children, even adults, master a skill in one area in their life, it really builds their confidence in other areas.
exactly. I mean, I know for me personally, like Irish dance transformed my whole life and changed my life. I honestly was not a very confident dancer when I was in ballet and jazz. And I don't know, I just did it because that's what my friends did. And like I said, it was more about the social aspect. And I never did competitions. Yes, we did a recital at the end, but I don't know, there was something about Irish dance and maybe yes, it had to do with the fact that it's part of my heritage and part of my culture. But I think it was more just that it was a challenge and that I never was bored in the class. Like I always said, okay, I want to get better. I want to be like those champion dancers. I want to be like the river dancers on stage, you know. And what I love about it is that it is like a solo sport. It's not you need this whole team with you or you need a bunch of other dancers to create this big choreography performance piece, right? Like it is really
Mm-hmm.
honestly solo dancing. What you put into it is what you get out of it. And I think it really taught me a lot about myself. And am I really putting in the work to be where I want to be? And if I didn't place in competitions, let's be honest with myself here. Did I really work for it to get that win? You know what I mean? So I think I
Yeah.
learned a lot of life lessons with
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, just from hearing you talk, I could see how it's transformed your life. And I
it.
love that. That's incredible. I just love your passion and drive for it. And
Thank you so
that's how I
much.
know your school will grow so much more because you're just so driven.
Oh, well, thank you very much. And I'm glad that that came across in me speaking with you because, yeah, I am really passionate about it. And I definitely hope that it continues to grow the school. So
Oh my
thank
gosh,
you.
me
If
too.
you have a goal, if you have a dream, don't be afraid to go after it and don't be afraid to go against the grain and follow your heart and follow your passion is on a
Oh,
final
yeah.
note.
Absolutely. Because I just feel like, you had this dream and you had this idea in your head, like, oh, I would love to open an Irish dance school someday. And you know how many people dismiss that and push it aside and say, like you said, that's a big dream. All right, let me go on with my marketing job, and you quit your
Yep.
corporate job to pursue that. And I just feel like that's incredible because not a lot of people do that. Everybody just kind of has
Yeah.
these dreams that they put on the back shelf.
For me, I've had some things happen in my life that really made me wake up and realize and say, wow, like life is way too short. Now or never. And not getting any younger over here. And who knows what tomorrow's going to bring. And for me, it's always brought me great joy just to be dancing. And I always feel like myself when I am dancing, and it's always pulled on my heartstrings. Whenever I was in certain jobs, I'm like, this isn't me. This isn't where I'm supposed to be. It's okay for now, but is it really something that lights me up that I'm fully passionate about? That's why I just decided I was going to follow my intuition, my gut feeling, and go where I felt like I was needed, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I'm sure all of your students are so glad that you did and like you said the parents as well that were like, "Yeah, do it. We'll follow you." I mean, what validation is that for parents to say, "Go for it. We're coming with you."
Even recently, I've gotten some really positive feedback from a lot of my parents and students, just seeing kids master a step, seeing the smile on their face, or just seeing the parents send me a video of their daughter or child dancing and practicing on a day when they don't even have dance. And
Oh,
they're so young, like younger than when I even took it very seriously. And this makes me feel really good because it means that I've kind of instilled in them that love for dance. It brings them joy as well. And seeing that brings me joy. That is very rewarding to see. And it reminds me, okay, this is why I do what I do.
wow. Yeah, I love that. That's so great. That's really, really
Yeah.
cool to just get that validation probably almost every day that
Yeah.
the kids are like, let me show you this that I did and practice. That's so cool.
Some of them are in it for more the social aspect. Others are very competitive and they have that competitive drive, and you can see that right away. But they're all on their own journey as well. And I think that because it is such a small school, like I gotten to know these kids really well, and they all have, in their own way, come such a long way. It is very rewarding. And whether they stay for like a year or like their entire dance journey until they go to college, it's my hope that they get at least something out of it, whether it's just good memories with friends and St. Patrick's Day performances, or
Mhm.
they'll be able to go to a pub one day on St. Patrick's Day and do a jig for the
Oh,
audience.
yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure it's
Yeah,
special to each of them in their own way.
definitely. And I mean, even for kids that don't have that Irish heritage background, like I found students that I once had, even kids that were Japanese Americans, like their parents were from Japan, they were first generation. And one of the students, she loved it so much. She was like 5 or 6 years old. The mother said to me, oh, we have to move to Florida, unfortunately. But because the daughter took such an interest in it, they found an Irish dance school down there in Florida,
Oh,
which I was like, oh,
oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, so that was really incredible and amazing, and really made me feel good that she got so much out of it from such a short amount of time that she wanted to continue with it. And like I said, it is just a beautiful, fun, energetic, a lot of cardio, and it's just a
Yes.
great art form. Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, that's really cool. I love that. Well, I'm so glad you took that leap. Wow.
Thank
It
you.
just
Me
completely
too.
transformed your life. That's amazing.
Definitely. I mean, not to say that there isn't struggles or there isn't challenges. What's going on this year for everybody,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's been a challenging year, but you have to remember like the good times, and you have to remember why you started this and why you're here and what you want to accomplish. And you didn't get this far to just get this far. You just want to keep going. And right now, it's important to be strong and be a role model for the kids who probably feel like so lost without like seeing their friends every day and are struggling. They're stuck at home or whatnot. So I think it's important to just yeah, always have that mindset of like looking forward to the future and what the future holds, and knowing that you're going to survive and take that drive and, like I said, determination with you no matter what.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's so important. And that's such an important lesson to instill in kids, that keep going and stay with it, and you keep that determination, you'll just go further. And it kind of overflows into all aspects of your life.
Right, exactly. I mean, I know for me personally, my Irish dance teacher, she was a little bit older when I was a student of hers. She always gave us constructive criticism. I can clearly remember her telling us, if you embarrass me, I'm going to pull you right off that stage. And
Oh
she would kind of
no.
like, they're like scare tactics. You better dance it correctly. And she'd be saying this in her Irish accent too. So she was like really old school, tough Irish woman. It really did kind of drive home like, okay, in Ireland, she would make it very clear that they're working 10 times harder than you are. As an American dancing their sport, like you need to step it up, take it to the next level. So she really instilled in us that sense of drive and hard work. You could always better your best, we'll say. You could always break it down, break the step down more, and just do it over and over again until it's perfect. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
muscle memory.
Oh yeah.
So I think I've really taken that with me 100%.
Yeah. Oh
What
my
she would
gosh.
tell us
I'm glad
to.
you took it that way.
Thank you. Not yet. Started crying in the corner. Exactly.
That is too
That
funny.
is true. Because a lot of kids did take it that way. I can tell you that.
Oh, I bet. Oh my gosh, I bet. I can't even
And
imagine.
they didn't come back after that. Whereas I think my approach in teaching, I've taken a little bit of her strategy, had that tough, like, I guess I also give constructive criticism, not so much that kids are crying in the corner, but just to like, light a fire in them. Like, come on, I know you have it in you. If I didn't see potential in you, I wouldn't be pushing you to
Mm-hmm.
the level of dancer I know you could be at.
Oh yeah,
So
absolutely. Oh, definitely. And I think kids need to hear that too, that they have that potential, you know.
without a doubt, yeah. I mean, I think if they're not receiving that sort of validation at home or from their friends, or I think it's so important as teachers that you plant that seed of belief in them, encourage them. Yeah, like I know you can do it. You may not believe it or see it in yourself, but I see it. So don't give up, don't quit, because you're just like one step away from reaching your goal.
Kids need that kind of person in their life.
I hope that I can be a role model for them. I don't have kids of my own at the moment, so I kind of really try to be like a role model for my students. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's so important. You're a great role model. I mean, you've worn so many
Yeah.
different hats. You started your own dance school with, I'm sure, endless obstacles and challenges. And here you are, just resilient even during this time, doing the online schooling and everything. So I'm sure they see that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. And I mean, like I said, it's been a little bit of a struggle because I've had some students that have taken time off or didn't feel like they wanted to pursue or move forward with the online classes. But again, like to each its own. I know it's difficult. I know it's not the same as being in person, but you know what? It's just going to make us, when we all come back together, appreciate everything that much more. And
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm going to appreciate being there that much more. And I really hope that they will as well. And hopefully take it more seriously and take their
Mm-hmm.
dancing more seriously and really be fully there and not on their phones or
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah. Oh,
I
yeah, so
really
true.
look forward to that day when we're all back in the studio in person, hopefully come September and sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I hope so. Are you waiting for the state to give the go ahead?
Pretty much. I mean, I have seen other studios here in Jersey open back up fully for the most part. I mean, so a lot of them are wearing masks and obviously they're practicing social distancing. They're like taking their temperatures or whatever, and they got the extra hand sanitizer. They're taking those precautions. My school is pretty small to begin with, so I'm not worried about how many people are in the room together because I never really had more than 10 students at a time. For each class, it shouldn't be an issue in terms of keeping it clean and keeping social distance. But I am just waiting, honestly, to see what the public schools are going to do. And if they go back to school, I will definitely have my kids come back to the studio. I usually kind of follow what they do.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, and I could also just have them come September, really, if it came down to it, dancing outside, which I've seen other schools do as well. I'm really thinking I might actually just send out a survey to my parents and see what they feel most comfortable with. I think that's what it's going to come down to, is it's really their choice and what they want to do, and maybe still keep some Zoom classes and then do half of in-person classes until people feel 100% comfortable, going back to the studio full time.
You're going to have to stay flexible.
100%, yeah. I mean, I think I'm pretty flexible to begin with, but this has really made me pivot my business, as they say.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah,
guess it's a good lesson for you to be adjustable and resilient.
without a doubt. And I've even seen that in the job that I work at in hospitality. That I work at another small business restaurant. They now only can do curbside pickup instead of obviously indoor dining. They just have outdoor dining now. I've seen their resilience as a small business, and it's taught me a lot of lessons about what's important. Like I said, being flexible and just going with the flow 100%. And look at how much has changed in a year. You don't know what's going to happen. So you
Yeah.
might as well
Yep.
follow your dreams, right? Like, because who
Definitely.
knows?
Oh, definitely. You never know. Well,
Yeah. If
well,
2020 has taught us anything, that's
yeah,
for sure.
really. Well, I hope you guys are able to open in the near future fully
Thank
with all your
you.
students there and everything. It'll be great.
Thank you. Me too.
Yeah, but in the
I hope
meantime, I'm
so.
glad that you're doing the online school and they're still able to enjoy it for the most part.
Thank you. Yeah, it's interesting.
Very.
Definitely not the same, but it's still good to see them all. And I've gotten a lot of experience with Zoom interviews now and Zoom calls, and definitely a different perspective on things. But it's good to still keep it going, like I said, via Zoom. You're right. We're so lucky to still be able to do that online and have that opportunity. So I can't really complain in that regard.
Yeah, with our
Yeah.
technology now, it's amazing how many people are able to work from home and
Yes.
do school online and everything. It's really incredible just what our
Yeah.
technology allows. I mean, if this happened when we didn't have the internet, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
what we'd be
think
doing.
we'd all be going crazy. Yeah.
Yep, for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely. I mean, there are still opportunities in this, as we have seen. So just gotta stay positive and keep on keeping on,
Yep,
you know?
yep. Definitely. Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been just such a
Yes.
pleasure hearing about just your culture and your experience going to Ireland and just how connected you are to your culture and your Irish dance and your passion for it. I just loved hearing about everything.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to have me on your podcast. And thank you so much for letting me have this opportunity to be here. I'm definitely so happy, so grateful, so blessed. And of course, it's obviously something I love to talk about.
Yeah, no, I love
Uh,
that. It's great.
Thank you. And I so hope that you get the chance to go to Ireland next year because I think you will really enjoy it and love it.
Thank you. Yeah, I
Yeah.
hope so. I hope so. What an amazing interview. I loved hearing about Kathleen's journey from going from an Irish dancer from a young age and having an interest in her Irish culture to opening her own dance school. That is so incredible to me. And just hearing her talk about Ireland and her Irish culture and Irish dance, you could just tell. I mean, it just comes right through the microphone how passionate she is about Irish dance and her culture. It's just really inspiring. And I just can't believe she went from an idea in college to actually manifesting this into reality and opening her own dance school. Absolutely incredible. Like I said in the interview, so many people have these amazing ideas and these passions, and they just push it aside, put it on the back burner, put it on a back shelf. They're like, oh, that would be a cool idea. But like even Kathleen said, well, that's a big dream. That's kind of too big, and push it aside. But I love that she was so determined and just believed in herself that much and built her confidence over time to make her dream come true. That is what I want for everyone, just to have this dream and to go for it and to believe in yourself and have that confidence and not push your good ideas aside. I mean, if something keeps calling to you, it might be meant for you. You're connected to it in some sort of way. And that's what Kathleen felt, that she had that pull towards her Irish culture. She had that pull towards Irish dance. She went to see Riverdance, and that was it. I mean, her soul like aligned with that, and it just transformed her life. Really incredible. And Kathleen, thank you so much for joining me today and telling me all about your journey. And I loved hearing about your passion and love for your Irish culture and Irish dance. So, so cool. And definitely go to her Instagram account because she posts so many videos of her students dancing. And I just love seeing these kids and even adults too dancing the Irish dance. And if you're in New Jersey or even in New York, check out her Irish dance school. It's in Old Bridge, New Jersey. Awesome. Thank you so much, Kathleen. Definitely join my Facebook group. It's According to Des on Facebook. I have my Facebook page on my Facebook group. Join my Facebook community because people post their passions in there, what they're up to, what they're doing. It's really, really fun. I love it. And you can follow me on Instagram, and I am on TikTok, but I'm not super active. I mostly watch them because it's fun. But okay, until next time.